Europe, a continent of immaculate architecture and famous food that tempts tourists. It's also a home to a wild variety of some of nature's ultimate creations in the form of extraordinary killing machines. We found 72 animals in this arena, from snakes, sharks, spiders, birds, some animals attacking to kill, some leaving long injuries, and some inflicting a small nick. However, all can harm us. Each episode, we rank 6 or 7 contenders and pick the top one for each episode to go into the final to fight glory as we count down the cunning, the fierce, and the extraordinary in 72 Dangerous Animals Europe. Imagine you're on a relaxing beach day when suddenly you're swarmed by a hungry horde of terrifying birds. Known as the world's most aggressive seagull, the European herring gull can make an outing a living hell. European herring gulls, with the wingspan that can reach up to 1.6 meters and be able to dive 50 kilometers per hour, are widely considered to be the most aggressive seagull on Earth compared to other seagulls. They are widespread across beach areas like in the UK, Ireland, France, and Scandinavia. They are commonly in colonies, which can be found in a couple hundreds to a couple of thousand birds. They usually eat things like crustaceans, fish, sometimes even rarely other birds or their eggs. But what seagulls are most commonly known for is stealing other people's food, like ice cream, sandwiches, and other snacks. But why do they do this? Seagulls have just been born to be expert scavengers, by waiting till food is unprotected and then strike. But if someone tries to scare them off, then can they fight back? The answer is yes. Seagulls not only hunt in packs to increase their power, but they also have sharp defense. Not teeth, but tomia, sharp edges of their mouth to cut food and prey so they can swallow it. Combine this with their aggression and need to feed. And it's not too rare for seagulls to lash out on people and cause some bad damage, and sometimes, well, rarely, deaths. In 2002, an 80-year-old man suffered a heart attack from a seagull swoop and fell off a wall. While it was not the seagull that directly killed him by attacking him, the scare of the seagull had caused him to die. In 2017, 2 women were attacked in Ireland, which one of them ended up getting a cut on their lips, swollen lips, and face, with many attacks from gulls, making some people too afraid to go outside. Seagulls were listed as a public concern and health issue in Ireland and Britain, but should you really be afraid of them? Seagulls are not likely to be life-threatening unless they are all biting you, and they will usually go after food. And as much as you might hate them, they are important for the ecosystem by controlling pest populations and scavenging waste and garbage to prevent diseases. No point trying to get rid of them, we just have to live alongside them. A feathered foe that swoops and scars, the European herring gull starts off at number 1 in our clash of beach troubles. But how will it fare against a tiny yet excruciating land-to-sea fish? A simple beach day can turn into a foot-destroying nightmare because of a famous fish that can drive a spine into your foot. All cower in fear for the weever fish. The weaver fish is a venomous fish that can grow only about a foot, but what they lack in size, they make up for it in pain. They have a venomous dorsal fin spine that is used to sting prey and inject venom into them. The spine is filled with toxin known as dracotoxin, while the lesser weaver fish's venom is known as traconine toxin. You might think that because the 2 species are called the greater weaver and the lesser weaver, that the greater has the stronger venom, but it's actually the other way around, and the lesser weaver is known to generally have the stronger poison. They usually prey on smaller fish, crustaceans, amphipods, and isopods. They also are usually preyed by seals who have learned to eat the fish head first to avoid the spines. Their long spines adapt to fend off other predators who have not yet adapted to avoiding the poison. This includes animals like rays, flatfish, and dogfish. These sneaky stingers are found all across the European seas, from the UK and Irish seas to the Mediterranean and French seas. They are now recognized as a public health risk in the UK and Ireland. The main thing victims experience is pain, The pain is widely considered and described as a sharp, throbbing, or burning pain. It is even often described to be more painful than jellyfish stings or even stingray stings. People who have stung described it like having your foot on fire. The venom goes directly underneath the skin, causing damage to the tissue, and sometimes even in complications of the venom, have a full body effect. And while you are extremely unlikely to die from a weaverfish sting, if you have an allergic reaction, you could die from anaphylactic shock, breathing difficulties, and severe low blood pressure. Though once again, this is only if you have an allergic reaction. Weaverfish spend most of the days buried in the sand underwater, only coming out to feed on crustaceans and small fish before going back to being buried in the sand, waiting to stab its next victim. Speaking of victims, has anyone ever died from a weaverfish sting? While deaths are rare, it is estimated that tens of thousands of people get stung by weaverfish stings globally every year. Local beaches try to prevent attacks from weaverfish season, which is usually from June to September. It is always necessary to stay wary of the fish. The good news is you probably won't die from the sting, but you will put in excruciating pain. Best to keep a watch out on the sand for this one. Its electrifyingly excruciating sting and close proximity to humans and many human attacks, the weaverfish knocks the herring gull down to 2. It can't sting you and is only occasionally aggressive, but can a movie star menacing arthropod take down our seaside stinging sensation? It has been one of history's most hated animals, and like a spider, it has 8 freaky legs. But it also has something that spiders don't: a massive tail that paralyzes prey, and big pincers for tearing it apart. If you couldn't already tell, I'm talking about scorpions. Scorpions are arachnids that are related to spiders and lobsters, which is where their 8 legs and pincers come from. They are small animals with long bodies and tails, with bee-like stingers at the end of them. These stingers also have venom in them. They don't have venom in their pincers, but they use it for grasping onto prey and stinging it to paralyze it. In Europe, there are 3 main species of scorpion that include the least dangerous species, which is the Mediterranean yellow-tailed scorpion, which has no recorded human fatalities, the Iberian scorpion, which can cause trouble, but in rarely life-threatening situations, and the most dangerous one, which is the common yellow scorpion, which can rarely be fatal to adults with health issues. And the common yellow species is usually found in Spain, France, Portugal, and the Iberian Peninsula, and there's about 10 to 15,000 of them in Europe. The diet of scorpions mainly consists of small insects such as roaches, spiders, ants, and even their own babies. They're not picky when it comes to these pincer predators, since they eat pretty much anything that's smaller than them. Bigger species have even been known to prey on small lizards and mice. They hunt by first grasping the prey with their pincers to make sure they don't get away, and then they use their harpoon in their tail to stun the prey and paralyze it, confirming the kill. They are not known to be social, usually hunting solitaire and at night. But if they do decide to put on a show, they do it in long, often hour-long dances called the Promenade deux, or the Dance of Two. But once the kids come in, they are usually eaten by the females to help them grow. But are we on the menu for these feared creatures? Well, fatalities are very rare, but if you do happen to get bitten by a scorpion in Europe, most specifically the common yellow scorpion, seek medical attention immediately from antidote and painkillers, and you should be out of the woods. But not everyone is lucky. The most vulnerable people to the venom are children and unhealthy adults, who can have more extreme reactions to the scorpion venom, but usually a hospital trip should do the job. Oh, and don't try to squish one either. With scaly armored skin that can last multiple floods and storms, trying to squish it will only make it angrier. Seek a professional animal remover if you are not comfortable with it being in your home, but scorpions rarely ever seek out human homes. Just let it do its thing and leave it alone if you don't want to be on the receiving end of that nasty tail. It may do some damage worldwide, but with almost no deaths throughout Europe. The scorpion waddles into 3. The weaverfish has more venom, and the herring gull has more attacks. Now, prepare yourself. There are flies, and then there are these flesh-eating parasitic pack hunters. The warm tropical beaches of Europe, one of the most famous attractions on the continent. What better way to spend a summer than relaxing on the warm sand? Of course, just try and avoid the thing that lurks in the sand, that will leave you with holes on the body, one that also carries potentially deadly diseases. The sandflies. The sandfly is a near invisible insect that hides in sand and around beaches. It is considered dangerous because not only can it bite you and leave you with multiple red bumps where the bite happened, but also because the bites can cause diseases which cause more bumps, but rather holes. After the bite is admitted, symptoms like tissue damage, organ damage, fever, weight loss can start anywhere from 10 days to multiple months. Untreated leishmaniasis is likely to be fatal. As with organ damage, victims will experience reduced production, severe pain, and failure of the heart, as well as the open wounds from the bites being a door for more germs and infection. It is a very serious disease. Sandflies are widespread not just throughout Europe, but in the world. In Europe, they usually hang out in dry, hot areas like Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, and France, so pretty much any tropical places that have beaches. As well as living in sand, they can also survive sandstorms and usually decide to stay in small places like cracks or buried under the surface. You might confuse these animals with other disease-carrying bugs like mosquitoes, who can also suck your blood. But the key difference is sandflies have much bigger bodies, while mosquitoes have extremely skinny ones. Sandflies also have shorter legs, while mosquitoes have longer legs. So you might already be scared of these parasitic insects. But what if I told you globally, sandflies are responsible for between 20 to 50,000 deaths each year? That is because untreated leishmaniasis is very likely to be fatal, which is very publicly damaging because places like Romania, Albania, and Serbia have weaker healthcare and are not always sandfly ready, and leishmaniasis is commonly neglected by the public. However, public organizations are beginning to see it as a threat. But it's not just Europe being affected by the sandfly. Africa, specifically, is in the grip of sandfly diseases. Countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, and Sunda and Uganda struggle greatly with sandfly-borne diseases. In Central Asia, Latin America, and really worldwide, this bug is causing problems. But is the sandfly really to blame? Well, like mosquitoes, they need our blood to lay eggs. They lay 50 to 70 eggs each year, and their lifespan is only 4 months, with the first 3 being the larvae growing and the last 3 are them being adults. But despite the short lifespan, it doesn't look like these guys are disappearing anytime soon. However, public health care should improve, hopefully lowering the deaths of these diseases. But we still need to keep them around, because just like other animals, they play a role. The animals that eat them, like bats, birds, and reptiles, so much as we don't want them around, just be cautious when going to the beach to avoid holes in your skin. A disease-carrying flesh feaster that hunts in packs. The sandfly is a micro-killer that's damage is massed worldwide. Down goes the weever fish, European herringull, and scorpion. They can't compete with the flying felon that's affected thousands of people every year. But what happens when a seemingly cute sea critter decides to bite back? Our next creature might not be one you'd expect, but it's not all sunshine and docility for the gray seal. Gray seals, along with other species of seal, are big marine mammals that are actually related closely to bears. And similar to bears, they're big predators with jaws capable of snapping down 3 times as powerfully as trained dogs like Rottweilers or German Shepherds. But just how big are these massive mammals? Adult bull gray seals can sit up from 1.5 to 1.8 meters tall, and cows are near 1.3 to 1.5. But weight and length are where these guys really show the scare factor. Bull gray seals can weigh up to 300 kilograms, and females can weigh up to 200. And for length, bulls can grow up to 3.3 meters, which is as long as a bear is tall, while cows can grow up to 2 meters, the length of a grown man. You might have noticed the way I've been using bull and cow for describing male and female seals, because like cattle, they are harem bred, meaning males fight for dominance and females, which is why bull gray seals and many animals fight like crazy during mating season, because the more fights they win, the more cows they get to mate with. The top male seal is usually referred to as the beachmaster or the alpha seal, similar to how lion tribes work. Oh, and speaking of tribes, they live in quite diverse colonies ranging from a few dozen to hundreds or even thousands of seals. Must be pretty hard getting fed. Speaking of being fed, what do these massive mammals eat? You would think for such large animals they would be able to take down larger prey, which would be very well could, but they tend to prefer things like small fish, crustaceans, sand eels, and octopus. They also hunt in packs to increase the efficiency of hunting. But despite its large size and ability to hunt in groups, it's not completely absent of predators. The biggest enemy of the gray seal is none other than the orca, about 3 times the size of one. Orcas can easily take down seals and eat them. The biggest enemy of gray seals are, of course, humans. Humans have been hunting gray seals to the point of extinction and can only be found in the waters of Britain, Ireland, and Norway, Sweden, and Canada. Unlike other water animals on our list, they prefer cold waters and tropical ones, like the Mediterranean Sea. So now we can get all of these main facts out of the way. Let's answer the question: do gray seals attack humans? Well, they don't deliberately go out of their way to attack humans, as they have a lot more prey options. But with more people keeping them in captivity and intruding on their habitat, you can hardly blame them for lashing out every once in a while. A famous incident known as the Sex Star 40-foot incident, where people were diving in a popular swimming place in Dublin known as the 40-foot, and many people were attacked by large juvenile seals. And one woman known as Breda Kenny got her foot stuck in the seal's mouth and received treatment for what may have been seal finger, which is a gruesome infection that can be caused by seals. And despite the encounter, she's remained in the swimming community, and it was called the Sex Star incident because the seals were male hormonal juvenile seals. There was also a ban on feeding seals and warnings put out on the 40-foot. Other cases when a Zealand diver in the Netherlands swam with a grey seal and ended up getting bit on his arm. So the question is, are these animals born monsters? No. They only act out when they feel threatened and would rather prey on fish and crabs. If you leave them alone and treat them with respect, they'll thank you by doing the same back. And that goes for most, if not all of our animals on this entire list. But what should you do if encountered by these bulky giants? Same way you avoid a big cat. Don't make any sudden movements and back away slowly. And if it bites you, try prying its mouth open and washing the wound with soap for about 10-15 minutes to avoid infection. Just respect these marvelous creatures from a distance. They are usually pretty chill and fun to watch. Just remember, they are wild animals. Apex predator with an infectious bite. The cute but crabby gray seal waddles into number 3. It just doesn't have the same infection impact like our feisty fly or wicked weever. Bird and scorpion all behind. Beware of our last competitor, the 1,000 kilogram, 6 meter long master of inspiring fear to the masses. It has inspired Hollywood horrors for 50 years. It is one of the most famous man-eaters alive. That is not fiction. The great white shark is most definitely real. So what makes these ones so horrifying? One of the strongest bites in the animal kingdom, estimated to be around 40,000 psi, able to bite through small boats and able to bend steel. And check out the size. Adult males measuring up to 4 meters long and weighing up to 1,000 kilograms. But females are even crazier, sometimes reaching 5 meters and weighing up to 4,000 kilograms. That's as big as a passenger van. Great white sharks are the heaviest carnivorous sharks in the sea and the second longest, only to the tiger shark. with a maximum length of 5.5 meters, which is nearly the length of 3 grown men. And not only do they pose a strong bite, but they have dozens of teeth with 30,000 pearly whites. It's no wonder why they have such a strong bite force. Oh, and they also have the biggest mouth of any predatory shark, with a mouth span that can grow up to 4 feet in width, which is about the size of a young child. So, these guys are obviously apex predators, so what do they eat? And does anything or anyone hunt them? They get some pretty big prey, alright. They usually go for dolphins, as they are big creatures who are pretty much defenseless alone to great white attacks. But one dolphin they are not willing to take on are orcas. Orcas are roughly 2 times the size of great whites and can easily destroy them in 1-to-1 brawls. Other animals great whites like to prey on include porpoises, rays, seals, eels, literally anything smaller than them. Even smaller shark species like bull sharks or even their own kind. Nothing is off limits. So let's answer the question. Do these colossal megabyte monsters attack humans? The answer is yes, but not on porpoise. One of the most famous reasons behind great white shark attacks is mistaken identity, where great whites will see surfboards and mistake them for seals or dolphins. And once a great white has its eyes on something, it's game over. Since 1580, there have been 58 documented fatal attacks from great white shark attacks. Not many survived the grisly bite of this giant predator. A Hawaiian 18-year-old known as Mike Coots got attacked by a great white shark and lost his right knee. The same person wrote a book about great white shark attacks, known as Sharks: Portraits, in September of 2023. Attacks in Europe are rare, but when they do happen, it's no joke. A 30-year-old German woman was attacked off the coast of the Canary Islands in Spain. The victim lost a leg and died due to cardiac arrest. While it is not confirmed to be great white, it was likely, as they do inhabit that location. Speaking of inhabiting locations, great whites can be found around Europe's seas, such as the Mediterranean, Spanish, French, and Italian seas. They can also be found in the Americas, off the coast, Japan, and Australia. So if you couldn't already tell, these sharks are widespread. Does that mean we should be hunting them? No. Great whites are hunted for sport. Teeth, jaws, and mostly out of fear. And one more thing is it inspires fear is the great white's prehistoric ancestor, the megalodon, the biggest fish ever recorded in history. A giant shark the size of cruise ships that have bigger teeth than humans. Unironically, megalodon actually means big tooth. So, should these massive animals be feared? Yes, but remember that although great whites are enormous predators, they are not active man-eaters. They would rather eat seals and marine animals. Prepare to hear this a lot, but specifically for such a fear capture giant that is pretty much hard time capturing people's good side. A case of mistaken identity with purely tragic consequences. The great white easily sinks its 30,000 teeth in the top spot, leaving gaping holes in the human body. The sound flight takes seconds. The weaver fish is a sadistic stinger at 3rd. The gray seal is an unlikely but strong competitor at 4th. The European herring gull swarms at 5, and the scary but not so toxic European scorpion, number 6. Our beach troubles winner is the great white shark, an age-old apex predator that can bite through boats and has so many attacks worldwide. The ocean hunter is first to join our ring of fearsome finalists, but this is only round 1. We still have 66 cunning killer critters to fight it out for top of the job. Up next, does size really matter? The biggest jellyfish ever goes against a scuttling bug. A horned mountain goes against an aquatic mini-dragon, fashion-y venomous viper, and golden jackal. We found 72 animals in this arena, from snakes, sharks, spiders, birds, some animals attacking to kill, some leaving long injuries, and some inflicting a small nip. However, all can harm us. Each episode we rank 6 or 7 contenders and pick the top one for each episode to go into the final to fight glory as we count down the cunning, the fierce, and the extraordinary in 72 Dangerous Animals Europe.